I'm Steve Samblis, and this is icSports. We're at the Dew Tour in Orlando. I'm with Jamie Bestwick, the #1 writer, literally Vert writer in the world. Which is, I read this sheet, dude, and I was just like, I thought there was a typo, because it was like first place. But then I saw, we chatted a little bit before we got started here. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate that. I want to talk about where I saw the start. Obviously, in England, you performed there quite well. And you came to the US in around 2003 at the Gravity Games, you got a 6th place. And then after that, everything on the stats changed. What did you do that all of a sudden took you from that one spot where you consistently sit at the first place?
I think it was a mental and physical shift for me. In years gone by, I always approached to riding as going out there and trying to be the best I could be with what I had.
Right.
But there's so much more to it, and with the help of my wife, who's a yoga and Pilates teacher, she helped me develop myself both physically and mentally, and it's kind of a preparation I need for when I ride this ramp. It's a very, as you can see behind us, it's a very open ramp, and you have to be creative and open-minded. And I think by listening to what other people have said, looking at some of my heroes and some of my influences, it's just opened my eyes up a lot more to what can be created on this ramp. And by being more open-minded, it just allows me to go out there and do what I do best relatively easy. Like I have a game plan, and I can go in there and execute it, and it just becomes more fun. And I think that's why the streaming results seem to really start to pick up momentum.
It's really consistent too.
Yeah, it was just because I found a kind of a harmony between myself and riding bikes, and it just seems to work for me.
For you, it seems that this is like a Zen practice of artistry on the bike. I mean, you got your mind way inside this game. I mean, when you go to compete, are you that much different than you are when you're practicing?
I think you have to be. You have to have a different mindset from when you are practicing, because practicing, you're kind of going through the motions and you're trying to adapt to a ramp that sometimes has challenges, sometimes doesn't, and can be very, one-dimensional. So, moving into the finals, I take what I've done in practice and what I've done at home, the day before, the week before, the month before, or even a year before, and I put all that into my head, and I run mini runs through my mind while I'm riding. It's like, okay, I've been in this position before. These first 4 hits are going to go like this. The next 4 are going to go like that, and so on and so forth. And it's like, it's not. I'm not winging it. I'm not going out there and thinking, all right, we're riding in at Mach 10. What's the first trick again? Otherwise, you'll get caught out in a really big way. And judging by the scale of the ramp behind me, it's quite a large fall, so it does hurt. So you never want to be caught out, and that's why we prepare for these events, and I make sure that probably until the last 5 seconds of the run, I know what I'm doing 100% of the time.
You talked to me earlier before about sometimes an issue is when there's missteps. When there's a misstep during your routine. Now you've already mapped out in your head what you're about to do, but then you hit a misstep. How do you sink back in?
I think, by having the years of riding under my belt, and even if you don't have the years, if you're just a competent rider and you're very quick-witted and you've been in this position before, you'll know that you have certain go-to tricks. Like, you see the guys riding behind us today. That was an awesome trick. But if that would have gone wrong and if he would have landed lower and didn't make the next side, then he had to figure out a trick real quick in order to get the pump back into the ramp, to get the speed through the bike, in order to maintain that height. And I think when you reach a certain level of riding, that becomes very easy, because you go back to your practice sessions, you go back to riding with your friends, and you can think about a time, or okay, well, if this one goes bad, I know I can always do this trick, and it's kind of a go-to trick
Got it in your head,
to get you back up to speed, and then the run continues.
The mental thing of what you're doing is just fantastic. You've got some great backing behind you. I was over outside at where the festival thing is happening, and I saw this Prius with the Union Jack on the side. What's the deal with that?
Well, you know, Toyota have been kind enough to do some signature cars this year, and obviously for me they did the Prius, and you know, if anybody who goes to that stand, you know, you'll see the Union Jags, you'll see the bike rack on the top of the car, which is pretty cool. And it's just, I don't know, it's just their way of being as fun as the athletes are. You know, we come out and we create all these things that people think are crazy out here on the ramp. So they in turn go, you know, okay, well, we need to do something equally as good on the road.
Absolutely.
So here's a car with Union Jack stripes all over it and a bike on top.
I gotta tell you too, this was the coolest Prius I've ever seen in my life. Okay, the new 2010 Prius is something that I would want. I remember when Leo DiCaprio, when he first came out, got his, we're just like kind of like goof on him. But this is a cool car. I mean, I would want this car.
Well, we just drove one in Salt Lake City. We did a little feature there for NBC, and it actually was really cool. We raced a bunch of soccer moms in a competitor's car, and we totally...
Did they beat your butt?
No way, we totally spanked them. The Prius smoked everybody, so it was a great day for the eco-friendly Lamborghini aerodynamical 75%
50 mile an hour,
scrappable,
50
and 50 miles to the gallon car. So wow, that's a mouthful.
That's nice. Yes. So Jamie, for the kids that are watching, when you started off, a vert ramp was literally, we were talking about it, so it was like a third of this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you look at this vert ramp that's behind us today, and this is an absolute, you know, this is a dream. You know, back when I was riding, there's probably only 16 to 24 feet of ramp that was allowed for us to ride on, so things were a lot different back then.
A kid that wants to start off, wants to get started and doing the work with Vert, where do they start?
Just, you know, like many of us, we all started out at a local park, and today there is an abundance of skate parks all around America. Yeah, it's got to be very mainstream, and it's very acceptable now, and you can just go there, and you know, you don't have to approach it like the top pros. You know, they already know what they're doing, and they can go to any course and just dominate any apparatus that's put in front of them. But a young kid going to a skate park, take it one piece at a time. Start off with the grind rail or the jump box or the driveway, and just make it happen and have a good time.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, icSports Steve Samblis, Jamie Bestwick, the #1 vert rider in the world, and a hell of a guy, and a Toyota driver as well. Jamie, thank you for your time. Take care.